In primary school, I was a bad student. Or at least, that's how I was seen. I had a hard time sitting still on my chair because I have ADHD. It was simply not possible for me. To give you an example of how hyperactive I was, my mom one night decided to tie me up to the chair just to keep me at the dinner table. So let's just say I was hard to manage. At school, I had the impression I spent more than half of my time in the principal's office doing nothing, which made it feel even worse. Thankfully, in 5th and 6th grade, I had a great teacher, Micheline, who prepared me well for the entrance exams to high school, which I managed to pass with good grades. I took a gap year to go study in California. It was a very rough year for me because of the school I attended. In that school, we barely had any free time during the school day, which made it very hard to focus. Even during lunch break, we were in class meetings. There was also an excessive amount of homework, and I was simply not able to keep up. The work just kept piling up, and I felt like I was drowning. Also, the level of work was too high. It made me feel super dumb. In a very short amount of time, I found myself eternally super stressed out and always on the verge of exploding. I felt like school was my enemy and that we were at war. After my gap year in California, I returned home completely disgusted by school. Then the new school year started. Meanwhile, my mom started looking out for schools, and she found a school which she believed would be much better for me. But I was skeptical. In that school, when you failed the test, you could try again the next day until you succeeded, which meant that if you failed the test, you could ask for help until you understood. In a very short amount of time, I found myself having victories. I found myself studying more and hating less of it. I went from the bottom to the class to the top. It felt amazing. What I like so much about that school is not that they're perfect, and they will never be perfect, but that we always have a say. If you have a problem, you can always go to the teacher and say, listen, this did not work for me, and they will find a way to make it better for you. So I'd like to finish my speech by making a question to ponder. Am I a misfit? Or just a kid who needed a different approach to learning? Thank you.
So, Kjetil, good job, isn't it?
So, John, is this TED Talk a success until now?
Probably, Kjetil.
So, if you mess it up later, am I still a success?
That's a good question, Kjetil. Maybe to answer, I ask you to remember about 3 weeks ago, there was a football match at the school. And the other team was very aggressive. And you made key decisions to calm them down. They even rejected one of their own players. He was crying on a corner. And you left the game. And, you know, you became an inspiring model for your peers, Kjetil. And that's quite an achievement, much more than any talk on stage. So yes, you succeeded, Kjetil. Thank you. My question is, why did Kjetil fail in traditional schools before coming to me? I've been to a traditional school yesterday, and I've been to a classroom and I asked them a question. I told them something. This is their reaction. So what did I tell them to trigger such a joy? Very easy. I just told them, Mrs. Parker is sick today, your lesson is cancelled. Most kids I meet in traditional schools do not like school for learning. They may like school a lot for making friends, but for learning. In the same school, I recorded quite a different sound. What happened? Mrs. Parker came in the classroom and they realized that I lied. There are many problems with traditional schools. You probably faced a few yourselves. Let's just review 3 of them. 1, boredom. Sitting 8 hours a day listening? You cannot talk. You cannot even pee if you need. Second, too slow. For some of us, the school was too slow. You understood a long time ago, and the teacher can stop explaining again. 3, too fast. So many 12 years old come to me with the school level of a 9 years old. 3 years behind, a quarter of a lifetime. They cannot even copy a sentence with no mistake. What is the school system doing with our kids? Those kids are not stupid, but the gap they accumulate is so huge that they don't understand any new lesson anymore. Traditional schools need to change. We need traditional schools to change. That's my job. I transform schools. I'm not a very good teacher. Kids say I'm too bossy. Huh, Kjetil? Yes? But I think I have a talent for fixing systems. And that's probably why I started my career as a computer scientist. I help teachers so they can stop teaching. They become architects who create personalized learning environments where students learn. For example, there is this vocational school in Brussels. They teach carpentry, they teach mechanics, printing, computer science. And they are very successful for 15 to 20 years old students. They have 800 of them. And they achieve 100% of employment rate after school. They also have a younger section, 12 to 14 years old. It's not vocational, and it's not a success at all. I've been there one day last year, and I felt just so sorry for these teachers. It was because of the behavior of the kids, it was almost impossible to teach anything. The academic achievement was so low that the principal told us, John, either you turn that section around, either we shut it down next year. So my partner, Fanny, she's there. She said, Challenge accepted. Oh my God. We took it over 6 weeks ago. It's unrecognizable now. You will see it on the video. Fanny, she was not kidding. So the day starts with a relaxed welcome, and soon they will form a cycle for dealing with emotions. It's a soft skills exercise. Then the more academic exercises start. This is Fanny, and she has plenty of time to help. Some of these kids, sorry, last year, they were unable to do any exercise for months, even if they were at school. They were just not working or able to work. And now the most difficult cases work at least 2 hours a day productively. And most of the kids work 6 hours a day. We are very proud of them. Who is this? Oh, Kjetil. So when they do an exercise for 5 minutes, and then they unhide the answers. So these are the answers, the 2 last columns, and they correct their own mistakes. That's how they learn, with immediate feedback. There is another room with more autonomous students. These students do not need any teacher. They just help each other. So they do many exercises, and if they are ahead of their objectives, they can read a book, for example. Kjetil, his mom told me before coming to us, he never read any book. He has dyslexia. Now he reads 2 books every month. So they have plenty of time to help each other or to prepare some activities such as a TEDx.
Just to keep me entertained.
Or to go to the workshop, for example, to learn interesting techniques. And then it's lunchtime. So that's just a sample of what happens now in the school. It may seem easy on the video, but setting up the method for such a radical transformation is hard as hell. And it was only possible because we got a lot of support. First, from the families who believed in it. From the school staff also, who is very flexible. And also from the European Commission, who financed the development of the method through Erasmus research programs. Let's review the 3 main principles of this method together. You can probably apply them tomorrow in your class or home with your kids. First, mastery learning. Set crystal clear objectives before you start. So yes, you start by introducing the exams and you make the lessons optional. For example, you give the teacher's version of the exercise books, the one with all the solutions, with all the answers. And when the student is ready, feels ready for the exam, maybe too soon, maybe he will fail, he will not have the answers. And if he fails, it's okay. Failing is just a natural way to learn. Try again tomorrow. Make them hungry. Make them beg you for a 10-minute lesson. Two, second principle, soft skills. Spend time on soft skills. Many kids from my class are very aggressive at each other. And it's not an insult. I mean, they destroy things, they spit, they fight. Training their self-control is our first priority. So imagine you are a math teacher with that class, and they are not emotionally available. Are they going to listen to you when you teach math? To make them learn more math, spend less time on math and more time on soft skills. Our third principle, learning strategies. Now, you teach less. You have more time to see how they work, to see how they learn. For example, if you see a student reading, and reading his course again, stop him. Stop him. Once you understand the concept, it's time to memorize. And to memorize, you have to hide. Give me your trick that you can apply for your next memorization homework. Let's suppose you have that diagram or summary that you need to learn by heart. Go far away, maybe 10 meters. You take a picture in your head, 10 seconds, maybe you are at the first floor. You hide it, you go back to your seat, and you transcribe as much as you remember. And when you're stuck, you go back, take another picture. Good for the brain, good for the body. So one, set clear objectives before you start. 2, spend time on soft skills. And 3, teach them how to learn. Because yes, it is possible to transform a traditional school for better academic achievement and for better emotional skills. For all the kids, those with behavior problems, those with dyslexia, and even those gifted kids who just want to learn faster. Kids such as Kjetil. Kjetil, come back, please. Boy. You were a troublemaker. Come in. You were a troublemaker, a real troublemaker. With poor grades. And now you became an asset, representing your school on stage for TEDx talk. Thank you for that. Thank you.